reducing waste is child rearing. I'll give you an example. In India today, the number of children between the ages of 0 to 14 is 270 million. 27 crore is the number. And each year the child grows, each year the clothes are redundant. If you go to shops, high-end shops like Crocs and Nike, the shoes for children are actually more expensive than shoes for grown-ups. And they change all the time. And this is a big design challenge to everyone in the world, that how can we make clothing and footwear for children which grows with them or which changes with them. They had come up with a sandal in Africa where the different straps keeps changing and the child can grow and the sandals remain the same. So those are the kind of things we have to think about. I'll talk to people from the industry about it later, but government is another big thing. In India, government is still my baap. Actually, it's becoming more my baap lately. And until the government thinks of something and government pushes something, it's very difficult to bring in change. And recently, and all credit to the current Prime Minister, that the use of LPG has finally reached rural area, which is very good. But despite so much money being spent on that, people giving up their own LPG connections, we have only 180 million households with LPG right now. And we are total 240 million households in India. But there's a huge opportunity, Accenture, new thing, piped gas, or something like that. But in India, the government has to push things. And that's where I'll bring in Shri Haleem Khan, because he's worked with the government and he's worked with public finance, that how the government can help, not just by nudging, by making enabling laws, by pushing people, by giving tax deductions or encouragement of some sort for thinking where circular economy is in operation, and the design of the government policies in operation.
Thank you, Pankaj ji. Good afternoon. In fact, when I heard our moderator to begin with, who placed his opening remarks on a tripod of clothes, shampoo, and moisturizer, I was slightly nervous because I was feeling as if the carpet from my below, from the legs of my arguments have been taken away. Now, Vishvesh has done me a favor by projecting that what is the consumption in India, which is the per capita global consumption. Now, this debate has, whenever the carbon politics is discussed, this has been an ongoing discussion. Who should be on the sacrificing end? And so what I'm saying is that the consumption per se in India is so much below the global consumption that the jump in consumption per se should not become an issue against circular economy or sustainability aspects of it. There's another aspect to it. See, when every technology has a this critical volume. Now, if we don't reach that critical volume, then all the areas relating to recycling, etc., also gets impacted. Now, in a large country like ours, if the critical consumption in the rural areas remains below, the consumption in rural areas remains below a critical level, then all those technologies which are even available for recycling of things may not be profitably employed. So I will like to keep it that we should not lose this perspective that consumption per capita in India is not too high to become the focal point of our concerns with regard to sustainability and environment. Yes. Now, I don't want to give an impression that the article which has been recently published and which I talked about in my opening statement contains all the solutions, but one aspect I will certainly like to talk about. It talks about the a fiscal matrix. I have given a very interesting name. This is called Walk the Environment Talk matrix. Now, what it says is that, you see, there are consumptions and there are fiscal incentives or disincentives. Now, there may be consumptions which are basic consumptions, irrespective of what are the carbon footprints of those consumptions. There are consumptions which are desirable consumptions. And there are